The wind blows it here, the wind blows it there, the wind blows it here, the wind blows it there. And at the end of the day, where the leaf has gone, no, the leaf doesn't know also. The leaf was, at the end of the day, the leaf feels I have not achieved anything. At the end of the day, leaf feels I'm useless. The leaf feels that I'm disconnected from my tree, but I never reached my destination, or I went somewhere else only, Isn't that what happens to a lot of people, right? That is why you should have precise 3 things you want to achieve in a day. And every single day, if you achieve just 3 things, and 3 things doesn't mean like brushing your teeth, that's not what I'm talking about. I want 3 really important things that will really make a difference to you in your life. Okay? 3 intentions. This is a rule of 3. The third thing that, okay, so just a side note for you. So you write 3 important things at one place, 1, 2, 3. And then many other things that you want to achieve, you can write it separately, right? The to-do list, you can write it separately. That's not your priority, that's not your focus. These 3 things are your focus, right? And if these 3 things are not met, then the other things don't make a difference, basically. But the interesting thing is when these 3 things are met, you will end up achieving many of these also, the other ones also, right? So keep 2 separate lists. You write the set of 3 or the rule of 3 or the 3 intentions separately, and you write other things separately, okay? The third thing, and this is very important, and this is where a lot of people miss. Work on the difficult things first. Work on the hard stuff first. You know what a lot of us do? I know most people, we do the easy things first. We do easy things first. Why? Easy to do. Anything that requires brain, we delay it. Sending some message with somebody, you do it first. Why? No brain. Anything that requires little brain, we kind of push it for later, right? So please try to do the hard things first. There is a phenomenon known as Parkinsons Law. So the phenomena, this Parkinson's Law says, our work, whatever work we do, it tends to fill up the time that is available for its completion. Suppose you have one work to do, and say you think that I will do this work in 5 hours. Interestingly, you will actually take 5 hours to do it. Why? Because even if it takes half an hour, it will actually take you 5 hours. Why? Because you have allowed it to take that much time. Right? And interestingly, if you actually decide that I want to do this work in half an hour, you will actually do it. But I'm not telling you to be unrealistic. You're not Superman, Superwoman, obviously not. But try your best to understand how your mind functions. The moment you give your mind space, it will occupy all the space possible. You give your mind 5 hours. Okay, let me give you my own example. The PhD thesis, right? My guide called me 5 or 6 days before February, like last phase of Jan. And he told me, I want you to submit the thesis by end of Feb. I was shocked. I mean, have you ever heard someone writing an entire thesis in 1 month? Hardly it happens, basically. But this guy gave me a deadline. And he told me, if you want the PhD, your doctorate this year, this was like last Feb I'm talking about. He said, if you want the doctorate last September, he said, you need to give me the thesis by February end. Now I had to decide whether I want really, put my effort and do it. People takes 5 years, 6 years, 8 years to complete their PhD, basically. So I was like 3 years down the line, and my guide was telling me you have to do it by Feb 28. I sat down. I worked like mad. I just put so much focus, set aside everything else. Of course, I was doing many other things, but I prioritize my focus a lot. And you won't believe it. In exactly 28 days, I finished the thesis. And one of the examiners who actually gone through the thesis, he said, this is path-breaking thesis. And there's a foreign examiner, foreign university. He said, this thesis is going to be a leadership guide for many years to come. So that means it's not that I compromise the quality also, right? And interestingly, you know what happened? After I submitted the thesis, my guide got shocked. He said, he couldn't believe. Like 324 pages, I gave it to him in his hand, And then, eventually, so many other things happened. And that thesis never got approved that year because of some academic issues, some complications, technical complications. But I realized if my guide had not given me that 1 month, 28 days deadline, I would have still been writing the thesis. I would have still been writing it. 1 year down the line, I would have still been writing it. Why? That's the nature of the mind. That's the nature of how work expands, basically. So there are people who keep doing one book for like 2 years, 3 years, they keep writing it. And there are some people who just finish it in 1 month. Right? Same thing with all your studies. You can study the same subject in 1 month. Or you can say study the same subject in 1 day. Correct or no? Yes or no? I studied engineering. I know. 15 days. That's what it takes to study one subject. Study the semester of engineering. 15 days. That's all. But that is 15 days of full intense focus, right? Remember, if you know this trick of the mind, you will know how to contract your focus and how to contract your time and attention. Do the hard stuff first. Okay? So let's just revise the 3 rules. What are the first rule I said? One person, please stand up and say. Anybody? Yeah, please stand up. Okay. No distraction period. Okay? Or no distraction zones. Second rule, what we said. Yeah, please stand up and say. That is a part of the first one only. I'm talking about the second rule. Yeah. So this is the 3 intention rule. First thing in the morning, get up and make 3 intentions. And somehow at the end of the day, you have to achieve those 3 intentions. Okay? What's the third rule we spoke about? Yes. Do the hard thing first. Okay? This is the third rule. And interestingly, when you say the most amazing thing about smartphones is that how many of you all have spent, let's say, for example, just give you an example, okay? Suppose you have focused really hard for 45 minutes, 1 hour, and done some really tough thing, and managed to do it. And then next 3 hours, what you do, you don't even realize. I will experience that. 2-3 hours with the phone, and at the end of 2-3 hours, you ask yourself, "Kya kiya? Already kya kiya?" है कि नहीं? होता है कि नहीं? 3-4 घंटा गया, accountability नहीं है वो 3-4 घंटे का, है कि नहीं? So this is the nature of the mind. Your work just expands in and fits into the time that is available to you, right? And here is the 4th rule. And this is a rule I follow very diligently. And I curse myself every time I follow this rule. But I still follow it. You know what is this rule? And you can ask anyone who knows me very well. They'll tell you, they'll vouch for this, that I follow this badly. The 4th rule is set up artificial project deadlines. I'll explain. That means the way mind works is when it faces a threatening situation, it works fastest. When a dog is running after you, wow, how your mind works, you won't understand only. All new ideas you come up with, You get such amazing ideas when you are in trouble. Why? Because that's the way the mind works, basically. The point I'm trying to tell you all is put yourself in trouble. How do you put yourself in trouble? Take up more. So technically, this is what I do. I take up work that 10 people should do. And then I call myself, अरे बहुत बेचारा क्या करूं कितना ले लिया काम अभी करना पड़ेगा. I sign up 10 contracts of 10 books. And then suddenly I'm wondering, what the hell, why did I do this? But then the publishers start calling up saying that, ye karo, wo karo, then karna padta hai. And I usually end up achieving it, basically. So this is a powerful way to trick your mind. Do not underestimate the capacity of your mind. Each and every one of y'all are capable of doing a lot, achieving a lot. The only problem is you have not put yourself in a pressure situation. You have not put yourself in a situation. I'll tell you what I'm doing now. You know by now that I'm doing a PhD, right? But I'm also doing an MA simultaneously. I'm doing an MA in psychology and a PhD together. And as I said, this is only 5% of my life. And I'm doing writing of books. I'm giving lectures on a daily basis. I'm heading an ISKCON unit in Goa. I'm managing 2,500 people community. I'm doing so many things. And I can give you a list of how many things I'm doing. But I'm doing it because I love doing it. And these are all things I've taken on myself voluntarily, Because I realize the more I take up, the more I actually do. It is not about your capacity. It is not about your ability. Each one of us are equally capable and able. It is about responsibility that you handle. It's about the amount of pressure you put on yourself in terms of responsibility. When you take up pressure on yourself, you actually end up living up to it. So, my suggestion to all of you all is set up artificial deadlines for yourself. Suppose you will have your study education, whatever your subject you have to study in 30 days. Say you will study it in 10 days and you will shock yourself. You understand? You will shock yourself when you set up deadlines like this. Don't give easy deadlines. 30 days ka 90 days mein karunga. You understand? If you set up a deadline like that, you will actually take that much time to finish it. But if you set up a deadline which is much, much shorter, you will actually end up finishing it. Follow these 4 simple principles in your life. You will never repent. And maybe 6 months, 1 year down the line, you'll come and thank me for giving you these 4 things. I'm telling you, these are very practical, very simple, and very, very realistic. These 4 things are not something else. I never told you all throw your phone out. I never told you all stop using your phone. I'm only telling you all, let your phone not fool you. Let your phone not distract you from what you can achieve. At the end of the day, the most stupid thing to do is I didn't achieve much because I had a phone. That is the saddest feeling to have, right? And technology is not bad. Only if you know how to use it and how not to be trapped by it. As simple as that. So my suggestion to all of you all is that please don't get trapped by technology and fooled by technology, but rather become smart and follow these 4 simple rules of life that I shared with you all to navigate through distractions and achieve so much of what you can achieve. I am opening up the floor for question answers now. Anybody has any questions or anything to share, anything to ask, anything to discuss, please feel free. Of course, this session, what you all heard today, how many of you all connect with everything I said? Put up your hand, please. Okay, great. So I'm hoping that many of the things that you heard today will really help you all in your personal journeys of life. And actually, I'm also willing to help you all on a personal level also. Any of you all would like to ask anything, keep in touch. I'll leave my phone numbers with you all. It will be. I'll drop my phone number on the group. You can reach out to me, and I promise you all that I will personally help each and every one of you all. I don't know how I'm going to manage it. Again, I'm taking my commitment, right? but I'll do it. And so I'll help you all, basically. Because I really want to see that all of you, though you have so much of distractions and attractions in this world, but I want to see all of you all prosper. I want to see all of you all succeed. I want to see all of you all not get succumbed by the distractions. So we are here to serve you all. We are here to help you all in every possible way. Please feel free to stay in touch, okay? Shall we?
What are questions, please? One mic this side, one mic that side. Please pass on. Raise your hand.
Thank you so much for a very, very insightful session. A lot to gain from it. I have a question. So, as you were talking about distractions, the other distractions which a lot of people of my age also face is overthinking. Like our thoughts actually run us mad. Can you actually give us some tips or tricks about how we control our thoughts and how we actually focus into doing a particular stuff?
I found a very creative way of using overthinking. By now, I also understood I'm a real overthinker, right? I don't think any of you can reach my level of overthinking. But I found a creative way of using my overthinking by writing. Yeah. So I found that when I write, it actually helps me express. I get crazy thoughts, craziest of crazy thoughts. So when I started writing, actually my mind started becoming a little more peaceful and sober because it has given me a way to vent out my crazy thoughts. Also, I found a way in which my overthinking goes in a positive direction when I do marketing. Marketing means I do a lot of marketing. I mean, I promote the books that I write. I market courses that I do. I market, for ideas for our temple. I mean, I just keep getting ideas for, doing new things, new programs. So I get a lot of ideas. But so what I realized is overthinking has two ways of operating. One is it operates in cycles, and one is it operates in linear way, right? So normally most people overthinking operates in cycles. Cycle means what? Once you get into one loop, loop mein ghumta rehta hai. So the thoughts are like cyclic and very repetitive thoughts, basically. There's no newness in those thoughts. So when you get into a cyclic type of overthinking, it's very harmful for you because it takes you downwards. It's like a downward spiral, basically. But linear overthinking, it gives you newer ideas. So I would suggest you start doing linear overthinking. Linear overthinking means every time think of a new thing. So वो एक चीज वापस सोचेगा ना, then it's a total waste. I'm telling you by experience. So many years I've been cyclic in my thinking, basically. But over a period of time, I realized that cyclic overthinking, it's a waste of time. It just keeps you in loops, basically. So I started doing linear overthinking. So every time I think of a new idea, which has not been done before. So at the moment I started doing linear overthinking now, I actually started prospering in my personal life. First of all, I didn't feel stuck. And I was getting newer and newer ideas. People keep telling me, hey, new idea. I'm just using overthinking positively, that's all. You can't stop thinking. Most people can't, unfortunately today, the way our society is, a lot of people are going to become overthinkers. Unfortunately, that's the way society is. But unfortunately, most people get into cyclic overthinking. And the same thoughts keep repeating, which is not at all harmful, useful, right? It will take some time for you to develop linear overthinking, but you have to be very, very conscious. You can probably ask someone to help you, or you can probably have a friend that you can discuss with, and you personally have to monitor a lot also. Okay, what else? Yes.
Thank you, Prabhu. 2.5 minutes academic cycle is running down. Actually, now, probably thought about and finding the student is very, very result.
डिसिप्लिन का देखिए ये ऐसा है, ये कैपेसिटी की बात नहीं है, ये आपकी कैपेसिटी की बात नहीं है, ये आपकी फोकस की बात है ना। तो ऐसा नहीं है कि आप में कैपेसिटी नहीं है, बिल्कुल सबके अंदर कैपेसिटी होता है, बट ध्यान जो है ना उसको लगा के रखना वो आसान नहीं है, वो मुश्किल हो जाता है ना। तो मैं आपको एक सिंपल सुझाव देता हूँ, आप ना ध्यान फोकस करने का आप छोटा सा प्रैक्टिस कीजिए। दिन में एटलीस्ट एक आधा घंटा 1 घंटा आप अपने आप को ये सारे डिस्ट्रैक्शन से दूर रखिए और उसको 1 घंटा अपने आपके 1 घंटे को आप जीत के रखिए। यूजुअली कैसा होता है कि आदमी यूजुअली जैसे हम फोकस करते रहते हैं ना, प्रैक्टिस नहीं है, मन भटकता रहता है, तो ध्यान रहता ही नहीं है, तो इसलिए वो पूरा एक्सपेंड हो जाता है आपके दिन भर में, आपके महीनों में, हफ्तों में, सालों में, है ना। तो सिंपल चीज है, आप प्रैक्टिस करना शुरू कीजिए, छोटा छोटा समय के लिए बहुत तीव्रता से ध्यान रखना। Start with little small amount of time and then you expand it into a little bigger amount of time, है ना। तो आप ये ऐसे करेंगे ना, आपको जरूर फर्क पड़ेगा। सी, आप अपने कैपेबिलिटी को डाउट मत कीजिए, क्षमता जो है हर व्यक्ति में है, और पढ़ाई जो है इतना भी ऐसा कोई कॉम्प्लिकेटेड चीज नहीं है जो कोई समझता नहीं है, सबको आराम से समझ में आएगा। प्रॉब्लम सिर्फ फोकस का होता है ना, मन इधर उधर घूमता रहता है। आपको अपने आप को एक सवाल पूछना है कि 10 साल में मुझे अपने आप को किधर देखना है। Just ask yourself, all of you should ask yourself this question. 10 years down the line, where do I want to see myself? The answer is scary many times, right? Because if you want to see yourself in a particular position that is really inspiring and really worth, I need to put effort today to achieving that, right? So बहुत लोग बोलते हैं, the people I know, so many youngsters go and go into IIT coaching, go into all kinds of coaching classes, and they say मेरे को IIT में घुसना है। मैं उनको देखता हूँ, समझ में आता है ये आदमी IIT में घुस नहीं सकता। Not because of the capability की बात नहीं है यहाँ पे, किसकी बात है? फोकस की बात है ना। मतलब आदमी का लाइफस्टाइल देख के समझ में आता है वो क्या 10 साल में अचीव कर सकता है कि नहीं। सिंपल है, as simple as that। ये this is all mathematical calculations, as simple as that, है ना। अगर आप सैक्रिफाइस करने के लिए तैयार नहीं हो आज, तो आप 10 साल में कुछ अचीव नहीं कर पाओगे। तो आज जो सैक्रिफाइस करता है उसका फल जो है उसको बाद में मिलता है, लेकिन आज जो मजा करता है उसका भी फल उसको बाद में मिलता है कि नहीं? As simple as that। So what you sow, that's what you'll reap। So, आज आप अपने आप को थोड़ा सा कंट्रोल करके, मेहनत करके, फोकस करके, कुछ इंटेंसली अपने आप पे काम करो। 10 साल के बाद आपको रिजल्ट दिखेगा उसको, समझा ना। तो you have to, if any of you all, right now at this point in time in your lives, all of you all haven't achieved stability in your life, right? But in the next 5 to 10 years, what you all do, that will determine what is your stability in your life. As simple as that. Okay? We have time for more?
My question is that a lot of times we tend to give it to the distractions just because we want to procrastinate the tasks that we are doing, and we rather choose that pleasure or that dopamine instead of focusing on the long-term gain. So how do we deal with that?
Yeah. That's exactly what I said. Which rule is it? कौन सा rule है? What she's talking about? हाँ? हाँ, so basically ऐसा है, all the 4 rules actually answer that. See, simple है, आसान चीज करना बहुत आसान है और बहुत स्वाभाविक भी है, बट आसान चीजों से you will not get great results by doing simple things. Anybody who has achieved any kind of greatness in life has not achieved greatness by doing simple things. They've achieved greatness only when you do things that are not easy to do. Enough. So usually what I have observed is we like to do physical things, anything that involves physical activities, but we don't like to do anything that involves the brain. Understand? Art karna bahut aasan hai. Because I mean, of course, art which is very creative is not so easy to do, but usually even if you I'm sure many of you are artists here. Even among artists, there are two types of art. जो आसान आर्ट है ना वो फटाफट कर लेते हैं, जो मुश्किल आर्ट है ना वो बाद में रखते हैं, है ना? इन एवरी एस्पेक्ट इट इज लाइक दिस ओनली. जो आसान चीजें हैं हम लोग पहले कर देते हैं, खाने में भी यही है, जो स्वीट है वो पहले खा लेते हैं जो अच्छा आइटम है उसको पहले खा लेते हैं हम लोग, जो एकदम खतरनाक आइटम है उसको हम लोग बाद में रखते हैं. इन एवरी एस्पेक्ट ऑफ लाइफ सेम रूल फॉलोज. What is difficult we delay and what is easy we do first. But I am suggesting you do opposite. जो मुश्किल है वो पहले करो, तो उसके बाद तो आपको दिन भर रहेगा बाकी टाइम पास वाले चीज करने के लिए. But if you do the opposite way, you know what will happen? You will end up doing time pass and you will not end up achieving the three important things that you do. I had a friend of mine, a super brilliant guy. This guy used to work in Sun Microsystems. Some Oracle was called Sun Microsystems. This guy used to go to office at 10 o'clock in the morning. And 11 o'clock के बाद he was free all day long. क्यों मालूम है? 10 to 11 you do all the work that is needed to do for the rest of the day. और बाकी टाइम वो टाइम पास करता रहता था. He would not tell his manager that he's finished at 11 o'clock. From 11 to 4-5 he would do full time pass basically. Of course, he was a devotee, so he ended up doing a lot of services. But the point is that he was so smart that 10 to 11 only he would work. And everybody else would work from 10 to 5, 6 in the evening. And they would both end up doing the same amount of actual work. So, you understand what I'm saying? तो पहला जो मुश्किल चीज है ना वो पहले कर लो, उसके बाद बहुत टाइम रहेगा आपके पास टाइम पास करने के लिए. वो जो मुश्किल चीज आपने पहले नहीं किया ना तो आपका पूरा दिन टाइम पास ही जाएगा. As simple as that. Make sense? Yes, go.
And mostly people focus on the problem, like not on the solution. So how can we divert our minds from focusing on the problem rather than focusing on the solution? How can we focus on the solution rather than the problem?
See, you don't achieve anything by focusing on the problem actually, except worry. In India, what I've observed is that people love worry. And people love worry so much that if worry is not there in life, they feel something is missing in life. So we create worry for ourselves and we borrow worry for ourselves. See, we have to get used to not, getting into this mood of, abhi kya ho. Do one thing at a time and do it well. See, problem का solution जो है, उस problem को देखते रहने से मिलने वाला नहीं है. So do something about it. Like Ram was looking at the ocean. इतना बड़ा समुद्र है, अरे समुद्र के उस पार सीता है, तो ओशन को देखते रहेंगे तो उनको थोड़ी भी सीता मिलने वाली है. बहुत लोग ना प्रॉब्लम को देखते रहते हैं, अरे क्या करेंगे, इतना बड़ा समुद्र है क्या. प्रॉब्लम को देखते रहने से कुछ प्रॉब्लम सॉल्व नहीं होता है, उतर के पत्थर लाना पड़ता है ना. तो फाइंड सम वे आउट, सो my suggestion to you is, whenever you come across a problem in life, immediately ask yourself, can I find 2 or 3 simple ways of dealing with the problem? If I'm not able to think of 2 or 3 simple ways of dealing with the problem, ask someone. Asking someone also is trying to find a solution, right? But worrying is not finding a solution. Worry is like a rocking chair. It keeps you moving but takes you nowhere. ऐसा हिलता रहेगा. बहुत काम कर रहा हूँ, बहुत सोच रहा हूँ, बहुत इतने हिलने से क्या भूलने वाले, है ना? You may be very actively thinking, you know, that's not a solution. Got it? That's what I was telling you about linear overthinking and cyclic overthinking, right? So if you want to solve a problem, find ways of solving it, dealing with it. And if you don't have a way of dealing with it, ask someone. But no point in just worrying about it and stressing about it. See, the nature of mind is to create fear in you. Problem सामने आता है ना, उसके साथ डर आने लगता है. डर जो है ना आपको पैरालाइज करता है. The nature of fear paralyzes you. और आदमी पैरालाइज हो गया, वो कुछ कर नहीं पाता. तो बहुत सारे यंगस्टर्स जो है ना पैरालाइज्ड हो जाते हैं डर के सामने. तो प्रॉब्लम आता है, डर आ जाता है, तो बस कुछ करते ही नहीं है, पैरालाइज हो जाते हैं. Never allow fear to paralyze you. Right? That's why it is important to have discussions. You may not have a solution. Like, you know, I can tell you so many situations in my personal life where I got paralyzed. When I came across a problem that led to a fear, I just got paralyzed. I didn't know what to do. But I always made sure I have 2-3 good advisors in my life who I immediately call or message saying that, I am in such a situation, please tell me what I should do. And if you seek help, you will get help. Not all problems of your life you can solve yourself. You have to learn to start seeking help. Huh? Yes.
But the last thing that we told that, you know, make the joint that.
Yeah.
And like you said, you did it.
Yeah.
And there was a moment when you felt like I got frustrated with that.
Yeah.
So, like, if you are trying to do that, people might get frustrated, and sometimes if you're not engaged or patient, and you might stop doing it, and you will just, you know, stop the project or something like that. So, is it like practical, making such kind of deadlines so that you know people stop doing it?
See, you have to understand yourself well for that. Most people, most of us, we underestimate our potential. Most of us. If you had seen me as a small child now, you will not believe that I am the same person today. From my first standard to 7th standard, you know, I literally scraped in my exams, literally hardly managed to pass. 7th standard, my teacher told my father that if this child has to go to 8th standard, take him out of this school. Otherwise, keep him in 7th only. Imagine, I was like such a duffer at that point, you know. I never thought that I could ever pass. I just couldn't, you know. But 8th standard, I had some good teachers that came into my life that helped me to understand a little bit of my potential. So 8th to 12th, and I did pretty well, you know. And engineering also I did fairly well. But my confidence shot up much after my engineering days. I got into law. And even, so the law, I had one boss, more like my colleague, but my boss, who taught me a lot about life and about, you know, being practical with things. But after I came to ISKCON and I actually joined the temple, I found one very close guide, one mentor who is my best friend, my mentor, who's everything for me. I know many of you may know going through, you know, how many of you are going through. So I found him as somebody that I really could connect with. And he made me do things that I never thought I could do. And he gave me some strange instructions, you know. He was the one who started writing. And the good part is I followed what he said. That's the good part. And when I realized that my potential is much, much higher than what I think I have, right? So we have a very conservative estimate of our potential. And the conservative estimate is usually much lower, much lower than what it actually is. So if you don't push yourself, nobody's going to push you. As simple as that. So my recommendation to you is that don't push yourself so much. I mean, I may have done bad things, but at the same time, wanting to be conservative all the time is not going to help you. Try to find the balance between the two. So you, at some point, you will realize where your limit is.
I mean, sir, target should be doable. It should be like impractical.
I wouldn't say that. Have an impractical target, but not make it so impractical. You understand? See, when you have an impractical target, you will actually realize you will become prouder of yourself when you achieve it. That's what I'm trying to say. There are things that I have done which I never thought I will do, but I did it because I pushed myself to do it. Right? See, right now, what I'm telling you is theory. Go and do it. Don't do it. Try doing something strange like this. Then you come back to me. Okay. I'll tell you. So I can, if you like, I can give you that. I can help you, find that balance. Basically, So you will definitely need help from somebody to help you find the balance. Given living it to yourself now, you will always want to do something very easy. That's the nature of the mind. The nature of the mind is to always want to do the easy way. But don't get fooled by that. So push yourself. You will achieve much more in life, and more than achieving now, you will be happy in life. Get it? Yeah. Anything else? Yes, please.
Thank you for the.
I have taught this guy for so many years. I have told him so many stories. Prabhu? Yes, please.
Thank you, Prabhu, for the short and meaningful session. I would like to share a very interesting thing which our society follows. Like we set up some resolutions at the beginning of the year. For example, many of the people you see at the starting of the year, we see a lot of people in the parks just for fitness resolution. And after like February or March, they are nowhere to be seen the entire year, and they get up gaining more weight. So while these resolutions are set, so we follow them for a short period of time. The whole point is to set a artificial position. So sometimes we follow it. We can do the hard stuff first, and we end up doing things. But at a time, we start feeling lazy to do things on. Like this fitness resolution, for example, if you don't follow, so we think that it's a little bit tough to follow. But how to follow it and how to ease of things.
Okay. Here is the fifth idea. I made it up now. After hearing your questions. Find a intensity friend. Find one person who wants to be good like you, right? Find one person and you help each other, push each other, inspire each other to do better. See, I'll tell you what happens today in friendship. Most friends today are there to pull each other down. Again, most friends, if you see what the role of a friend in your life is, नीचे खींचो, जो ऊपर जा रहा है आदमी उसको नीचे खींचो, वही हमारा काम है. I give the example of crabs. They transport crabs in baskets. When one crab, they usually don't put a lid on it. ढक्कन डालते नहीं है. क्यों? When one crab goes up, all the others pull him down. नीचे खींचने में expert है. See, we are all used to friends that pull us down. But you should try to find one person who will be your intensity partner, who will grow along with you. So you also grow, he also grows, or she also grows, whatever. No? So find at least one person who will be your, who syncs with you very well. I'm sure you'll all find one person. So find one person who can help you match your level of desire to grow, desire to achieve a lot in life. I'm right now reading this book called Rich Dad Poor Dad. I don't know how many of you have read this book. It's a fantastic book. And in that book, if you see, there are two friends who want to grow together, you know, and they are the ones who got inspired by the rich dad, basically. Now, these are two people who are obsessed with the desire. Find one partner. Fifth rule. Okay? Make sense? That will solve your problem. And yours also. Okay?
In the meantime, we have a Zoom question. Live on Zoom too. So we have a Zoom question.
No idea. Divya, please answer your question. Ask a question. I'm not sure whether I'll be able to hear you. There's noise. Divya, if you can type out the question, it will be wonderful. Type it on the chat, please. Too much noise, no? Yeah. Anybody else? Any question here? Yes.
One is a question that, about exponentially expanding with factories, how is it? So, what are your thoughts on multitasking? Like, is it something
What is that? What is the thought on?
multitasking?
Multitasking.
So, is that something you would recommend to do on a daily basis, or can that be answered and affect the quality of the work you're doing?
There was a point in time where I used to, tell in our ashram, I used to tell people that, if I do one thing at a time, I get bored. So I said, I need at least 10 things at a time, to feel that I'm doing something. I still feel like that, but I as I've grown in age and experience, I realized we cannot actually be multitaskers. But what we can do is alternate tasks. So what I realized is, in any given day, if I'm only to do one thing all day long, I get damn bored. So I have started developing this idea of alternating tasks. थोड़ा ये, उसके बाद ये, उसके बाद ये, उसके बाद ये, उसके बाद ये. पूरा variety. Right? So if you have seen the way my profile is, I'm doing the only thing. So at any given point of time, what I'm doing, I myself don't know. Right now I'm doing this, but after some time I do this, then I do this. So I've created rituals of alternating tasks because I get bored of doing one thing at a time, right? So what I suggest is still the same thing. 45 minutes of intense focus on one thing. And then you do something else, which is totally different. And that also do 45 minutes intensely, if needed. Take a 15 minutes break to do relaxation. But then you take another 45 minute task, which is totally different from this. So what I have realized is one task helps me relax from another task. So that way I end up achieving a lot in life. Yeah, you understand? So that is the way you can multitask effectively. But if you try to do 10 things at the same time, you will end up doing nothing properly. Got it? Like even subjects. Like for example, when I was studying, there was a particular tip that I used to use. I would study one subject, and then I would take a break from the subject by studying another subject. So that way I would, give myself breaks. That is another way you can do it. I can't see the chart.
Do you think you are going to get this opportunity very often? If you have anything you want, it could not be about anything.
So what we are thinking is, going forward, we want to have these sessions once a month. How many of you will be interested in coming once a month? Okay, that's great. So every session we'll do something different, something practical, something that you can live by, something you can apply in your personal lives, something that is very useful to you at this age in your lives, right? So we'll discuss different things every time. And once in a while, we go on treks. So I have a trekking club. That's again something else I do. I love trekking. So I've developed a trekking club called Conquer Mountain and Mind. CMM Trek Club, it's called. So I plan to, from April onwards, I plan to go regularly on treks, wherever close by, basically. 1 day treks. Go in the morning, come back in the evening types. So if all of you all are interested in being a part of the trek club, I would like to invite all of you all. Please come. While climbing the mountains, we'll discuss some spiritual things. You can ask, you can discuss questions, you can have some fun together. And we also learn so much, right? And of course, most importantly, we'll stay fit. Okay. Thank you very much for joining in. Very grateful to all of you all for being here. We are here at the end of the session. If anybody wants to talk, interact, I'm here. We also have some wonderful devotees at the back, Vishal over here. All of them are ready to help you all. They have wide experiences of life. Please feel free to talk to them. Open your hearts, share, make friendships, and take guidance from them. So we are all here to serve all of you. We want the best interests for all of you all, and we want all of you to prosper. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
And while you are leaving, Krishna Mataji over there will give you the feedback form. Alright? So if you there, you have the feedback form. My humble request is please fill in those forms. Also the kind of topics you want to focus on. Right? So if you also that is good for what to what all you are wanting to do, so that can be done. And do not leave without having Prabhu, which is where the registration counter was. Right across that, Prabhu will be served in like 10 minutes. Tell me something. How many of you want to do a quick activity for 10 15 minutes? I will game to it. Now, how many are up? I can see first. How many are game to it? Okay, so you will do an activity for me?
Yeah.
Okay, so we do a short activity. What I'm going to do is I'm going to divide you in 5 groups. Right? And then I'm going to post something. All of you are on that group, the WhatsApp group, there's going to be a PDF file that I'm going to send on that. Okay. So how I'm going to divide you in groups is like this. You start numbering. 5 groups, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then you start your number as 1, then you say 2, you say 3, you say 4, you say 5, and then you say again 1, 2, 3. You go like this. So each one will have a number. Okay, each one of you will have a number. Remember that number, that's the way you go group wise. And then what's the activity you're taking? Start. 1, say 1.
5.
3, 5, 1, 2.
4, 5, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 3, 5, 1, 3, 5. Okay. Wow.
Hare Krishna.
Okay.
For all of you all who are
Have the feedback forms in your hand.
there's going to be
All
an
the
activity
ones
now.
together.
So
all the twos together,
we will
all the
be
threes together,
logging
all
off
the
from
fours
Zoom
together, all the
because
fives together.
this is not something that can be conveyed on a
Alright, so all the ones come
Zoom
here.
call.
All the
Thank you
twos
for
this
joining
side.
in, and please stay in touch.
Three
We
somewhere in the
will keep
middle.
doing events like
4
this
and
on
5
a regular
tonight.
basis. Okay? Thank you. Hare Krishna. You can leave your feedbacks on the chat, and we would love to hear your feedbacks. And hopefully, all of you have heard the session nicely. I would love to read your feedbacks on it. Okay?
Yeah, so 1 here, 2 here.